Hi guys, so this was supposed to be a short film about my return to football and my first game back, but circumstances have changed, and I think the main thing is people stay healthy. So while everyone's indoors cooped up, I thought you might like to see my journey, so here it is. For me, back then, 19, 20 was late into the first team if you're playing, but now I'm 23. Like, if I could talk to myself back then, I would say, you got time, man. Like, you got so much time. Don't rush injuries. Don't get frustrated. You got time. For me, it's just that dream of being the best player I can.
And now Loftus-Cheek to settle.
It's not for people. Play for me in a team.
A great occasion. He'll never forget this.
I've been at this place since I was, 8 years old, and now I'm playing for Chelsea. That feeling of playing for the shirt.
The happiest man in West London today.
He will be able to retire stronger than in the past. He will become, for sure, one of the best midfielders in Europe.
So there'd been a post-season game arranged for a good cause. It was soon after I came on, the ball bounced over my head and I turned and there was someone behind me. And so I just felt this bang. This guy behind me just absolutely rattled me. And he said, no, I didn't touch him. I was thinking, you liar, you liar, you liar. And the doc came on, he said, push down. And I just remember, I couldn't push down. My foot was just hanging there. And at that moment, I'm like, oh man, I've done something bad.
He was flying through the season. It was probably one of his best seasons. So to see him go from that down to the picture that I saw of him in the newspaper, it broke my heart, really.
Just what he did not want.
I played most of my games in the Europa League from the start. So for me not to play in the final, it was a big thing which hurt.
We were all situated in Swanley on a council estate. Ruben was no trouble at all, ate a lot of food. But apart from that, he just was always into football.
They built a cage in a park, which was literally 200 yards walk from my house. So I was there all the time.
We used to play for the same team, Springfield FC, Sunday league team. I used to pass the ball to him quite a lot and just try and get the ball to Ruben, or just tell him to shoot from kick-off or things like that. But no one ever really thought anything of it. No one had it in their mind that he was going to be a footballer.
Falling in love that young, I just used to play, and it was fun to play. I got spotted really, really young at a place called the Marathon Ground, which is a huge, huge park. By 6, I was training at Chelsea Development Centres.
From a very young age, he was always very dedicated.
I wanna meet other athletes who are at a high level, because I think it's good to, get knowledge off them and see how their journeys, panned out and what difficulties they've had.
It's going to be right on the edge of that radar. Brilliant! Brilliant from Owen Farrell. 10 minutes to go in Dublin.
What does it take to be at that level consistently?
First of all, I love it. I love training every day. I love playing. I love when the game comes along at the weekend. I can't wait for him. I think if we all just do what we've done since we were kids through to the end of our career, we'll not have done what we wanted to. In our game, everything's constantly evolving. Everyone's getting better. Everyone's getting bigger. Everyone's getting stronger. Everyone's getting smarter. So.
Being a captain, how do you get others motivated?
Just important to be authentic. No one wants anybody trying to be something that they're not. Speak your mind and speak what you're thinking at the time. It's about making sure that you're free to let yourself be at your best.
So what would your advice be for me to reach that top level and stay there?
Give everything. 100%. I think it's enjoyable when you do. I think whether it be your rehab now, the small things, the big things, the game, the training. I think when you do properly buy in and get excited about what's coming up, and probably a little bit of stuff that's unknown as well, you're getting excited about that. I think that's when you really get engaged and enjoy what you're doing.
I think it's really good to meet people like that. You know, what you take from this is, no matter what sport it is, you know, whether it is a sport or not, you have to give 100%. It's a good feeling to know that someone at the top is doing what you're doing already.
Well, it's not all easy. Do you know what I mean? Like I've had injuries, and when I was 12 and 13, when you go through that grind stage.
I think around 11 to 13 was bad, man. Like, my knees were killing due to ground pains. You're growing a lot, and I shot up really quickly. Once the pains in my knees and in my ankles kind of subsided, it was more I felt gangly, and my balance was kind of off. I think I had to catch up with the strength and the coordination of being a bit taller. When I got to about 16, then I started to get back pain. So, because I was filling out and getting, bigger, stronger. As I got taller, I actually started to move about positions. I think my game had to change in a way, because Eddie Newton at the time was a coach in the academy, and he always used to say, I don't use my body enough, because I'm used to just dribbling my feet. I guess I kind of had to learn how to use my body and my strength.
You know, we've had an under-16 this morning in Ruben Loftus-Cheek train with the first team. So those individual achievements are fantastic.
We had day release, and at the end of the day, we're about to go home, but we got pulled and said, "You two are training with the first team." And we're like, "Oh my God, this is bad," like nervous. And everyone paired up, and then Drogba was left, and I was like, me and Drogba. And I ended up pairing up with him and going like man-to-man with him. It's like they got like a glow around them. When you're that young and you're looking up to these players, and they're like the first team players, like an aura about them, just like so amazing. Being at the academy so young is definitely special for me. I got so much memories. I made friends there, people I still talk to today. Chelsea has a big place in my heart.
Ruben is on his way, but not just yet, because Sporting have a corner.
From 18 till now, it's probably been the hardest time of my life mentally. Midway through the season, I went with the first team, and I started training with the first team. I made my debut.
Loftus-Cheek coming on for Cesc Fabregas.
That moment, I was happy.
What a moment for the young man. And listen to the Ruben Loftus-Cheek, the flag's up, the flag's up. Oh, can you imagine?
But it felt like I just couldn't make that next step. It got to a point where, in those years, I hadn't played that much football. I was improving technically, but I felt like I needed the game time. I had to say something to, say I want to go on loan and play some football.
7 games for Crystal Palace this term. No points, no goals.
To be at a team that was winning every week, to a team that was fighting in games where you wouldn't have much possession. I actually really enjoyed being an underdog. I came back to Chelsea, Sarri's coming, and I really wanted to make a good impression, because I felt like coming off the back of a season where I was playing really well with Palace, playing at the World Cup, and then come back to Chelsea. I really wanted to carry on that momentum of playing football. I decided to stay, and at the start, I wasn't playing much. I was like, I can't sulk. I have to do what the manager's asking me to do so I can play. Towards November, I started to play.
Pedro tries to do some damage. Good ball in, Loftus-Cheek. What a start! What a start!
And I started to do well, and then I started to, play regularly.
Oh yes! Loftus-Cheek trying to pass it in, and does! And there is the hat-trick!
last season was kind of my breakthrough season.
Good to see you.
Long time.
Mate, last time I saw you, I was taller than you. So what happened?
I want to talk about, like, when you left.
Yeah, so I was here from when I was 8 till like 15. I think I was 15 or 16, and my parents actually pulled me out, broke my heart, and I basically grew up at the club and had dreams of playing for the club, and then found myself in athletics. Very fortunately, picked it up very quickly.
And on the time, whoa.
One thing I wanted to ask, because obviously you know what it's like to be in a team sport. If you have a bad day, you got 10 others. But when you're in an individual sport, if you're not on it, you lose.
It's so different. And do you know what? It's even the time, like, you get 90 minutes to play, you can make a mistake and you can make up for it. For me, I've got 10 seconds. Once that 10 seconds is done, I have to wait another 4 years to compete. So it's so, like, it's brutal.
What's your mindset with, like, leading up to a big race?
For me, I work a lot on my psychology, and I think that makes a big difference. I think everyone can train, everyone's got talent. What's going to give you that extra 1 or 2%? And for me, it was working on psychology will give me that edge.
You can't let your mentality be the thing that affects your game. And the academy do a great job. They have workshops.
100%, yeah. How are you finding the road to recovery so far? Like, I know you must be back pretty soon.
Yeah.
I had you in my fantasy football team as well, which was, I was like, injury struck, and it was.
I'm sorry, man.
Nah, it's right. It's good. I'm glad you haven't rushed it. A lot of people rush it and re-injure, and that's the
thing I just didn't want to do, because 23, nearly 24, like, you don't want to rush something.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Has it been tough, like, being away from being with your team?
The hardest part for me is actually watching the games, seeing them play and win and even lose in the bad times.
Hard.
Like, it's just hard, man. It's just hard. I can't wait to get back.
Call me and I'll help you with a bit of speed, because
to be fair, actually,
he did text me and give me some tips. Yeah, it doesn't just work like that. You don't just do like. But trust me, I can help you. And once we get you running close to sub 10, we're good to go. We're good to go.
I've been at this place since I was, 8 years old, and now I'm playing for Chelsea. It's like deep, and that feeling of playing for the shirt, it just comes out when you're on the pitch.
Chelsea have been absolutely amazing. He's had so many injuries throughout his career, and they've just been there 100% for us.
The mental side of being injured is hard. It's hard. Going through the tough times, it hardens you and made me a better player. I have to have the mindset of not regretting those things. I have them moments. Who would I be now if I didn't have those injuries? But I have to count on that as well and say, who would I be without those injuries? I do think there's a right way to think and a wrong way to think, and you have to practice. Like, it's a skill to think properly. The most cliche one is work hard, but now I'd say working smart. You're working hard, but you're listening to your body as well, and also be aware of your journey and pay attention to it.
Oh, could I say Rubes? Because he's breaking in, he's a youngster. Yeah. The most current Chelsea player I look up to, I think, is Ruben at the moment, because he's breaking through. He's from the academy and he's getting into the game, so that's what I look up to.
Moment that he and many others have dreamt about, and it's come to fruition here.
The manager coming in, he's always said, give young players a chance if they're good enough. It's not like he's just throwing academy players in left, right and centre. It's because they're really good players. They're helping the team win. Like, honestly, I'm so excited. No, I can't wait to play with them and share the pitch with them.
I'm so excited for him to come back. Can't wait to go to Chelsea and see him play again. It'll be amazing.
Yeah,